Commanders fans, two things. Three things. We're going three things. Number one, do you believe in bloodlines? Do you believe in bloodlines? And that makes for better football players. Number two, happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July from us here at Sports Talk Extra to you. This is the only video we're doing for the 4th, and we got the Commanders on it. I guess it makes sense for the nation's capital to get the 4th of July video. Just realize that as I'm making it. Number three, if you're new to this channel, we are Detroit Lions fans. You see the hat. You know what? Just so you don't have to look at it the whole time, you can see my semi-bald head. We are Lions fans, but we started another channel, Sports Talk Extra, because we love the NFL. We already have another channel, Sports Talk Detroit. But if you want a go-to place for some of the lesser-known stories of the NFL, some of the, hey, let's figure this out. Who's this guy that I've never heard of that's going to be making big plays? This is the spot for you. We want you to do it. And we have one of those for you with the Commanders. If you're a Commanders fan, you know this name well. He comes from a wonderful family, and it is none other than Luke McCaffery. And the coaches, the staff, the media surrounding this team has absolutely been blown away by how good and how well he's transitioned. Luke McCaffrey went into college as a quarterback, everybody. He was a quarterback, and he just never really made it work. And then when he was at Rice, he went there to be a quarterback. He transferred there, and then they switched him over to wide receiver. He made the transition, and all of a sudden he became Easy Ed McCaffrey, his dad. All right, you know, if you are over 35 years old, you remember watching Easy Ed McCaffrey, and he was the first guy to do the tight sleeves around the shoulder pads. I mean, the dude just had his fit on point. And so that is what we're getting here with his son now. And I think most people don't understand exactly what you're getting. But first, before we get into the rave reviews, before we get into the athleticism, let's talk about what we're hearing. We're hearing that they are going to let Luke McCaffrey work the slot. He is going to be the slot ninja for the Washington Commanders. Nobody else is going to man that spot. When we look at the depth chart, it's simple. You have Terry McLaurin on the outside, Dotson on the other side, and then Luke McCaffrey is going to be working the slot. You had De'Ami Brown that worked that a little bit last year. Olamide Zaccheaus. All right, Zaccheaus, get down from there. Sorry, that's just a little Bible stuff going for you. And then, of course, Jamison Crowder. But these guys didn't prove that they were going to be the slot guy that you wanted. So if Luke McCaffrey can settle nicely into that role, all of a sudden, I think you're going to have a sleeper and a guy that could be approaching like 700, 800, 900 yards, even in his rookie season, especially knowing that Jahan Dotson hasn't proven that he can do it consistently. I think when he was a rookie, he had some touchdowns early. There were some really good contested catches, but he hasn't proven to be a good player year in, year out. I know he's still young, so it's hard to do that. How about game in, game out? Terry McLaurin's really the only player that's had that provenness to him as well. And even Scary Terry can get somewhat frustrating at times, I think, for fans. But here's the thing about Luke McCaffrey that I think most people don't realize, and there's a difference between testing athleticism and then on-field athleticism. When I watched a lot of his tape at Rice, sure, there were some layered routes and things like that, but he was by far the fastest player at a school that's not known for having a ton of athletes. So he was their deep threat guy. Oftentimes, he was their deep threat guy. But I don't know that that's where he best fits in the NFL. I think when you look at his athletic profile, he can really factor into a great slot player. And I'm going to tell you why. First, let's look at the athletic profile. Then I'll give you one little other sneak tidbit that will help you understand this. His speed was great. He was actually faster than Christian McCaffrey. And I think we've all seen that Christian McCaffrey has plenty of speed to be an effective player in the NFL, right? Like, that's not a question that we have. All right, so he was actually faster than his brother. Here's what I love. He has good enough height. He has good enough weight. He has a good explosion grade. What I love is the agility grade. I love that he was elite with his agility. And what that means is that he's very quick, fluid hips, quick in and out of cuts, The 3-cone is more of a DB drill. The shuttle cone is more what you get to see for wide receivers. He was even better at the shuttle than the 3-cone. But this shows me that he has quick feet. Now for one that you won't see on this. When they were doing other drills, when they were running in a straight line, catching a ball to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. He was so fluid going through that, staying on a straight line and keeping up his speed while catching the football. He looked like a guy who had been a wide receiver forever. And that's why I asked the question in the beginning, do you believe in bloodlines? Because Ed McCaffrey was a phenomenal wide receiver. Christian McCaffrey is a phenomenal running back and wide receiver. If you've watched Christian McCaffrey play football, you know that if he was just a wide receiver, he would be good. Like, he could absolutely play in the slot and hang in there as one of the better receivers, I think, in the NFL. Now you have Luke that comes in here, has a very similar athletic profile, but I think he dropped to number 100 in the draft simply because he's only been playing wide receiver for like a year and a half, 2 years. People forget that his dad was a wide receiver. Do you think when the kids were playing catch in the backyard, do you think when they were running routes for dad and dad's playing all-time quarterback that he was letting them run crap routes as 8-year-olds? No. No, he was not. He was being coached up from a young age. That's why you see guys with good route running like Brendan Rice. That's why you see guys with good route running like Marvin Harrison Jr., Luke McCaffrey. These are sons of great players, and they just have a natural flow to them when it comes to the game because they watch their dads playing growing up. So that is one of those things that's kind of proving what it is. But enough about what I'm saying with rave reviews. What are other people close to the store saying? Here's what's said. Luke McCaffrey has done a really nice job just kind of being the person you thought he was going to be. And what I mean by that is he practices hard, he's detailed, he's paying attention, he's deliberate, he's a pro's pro as a rookie. That's always nice to hear. And he's made the transition from quarterback, so there's some speculation about where he is in the developmental process. But after watching him over these first few days, all right, this was written during OTAs, you're like, man, this guy's going to be a great professional. He might not have the ceiling of some of the other prospects in the last year's draft, but his floor gives me such tremendous confidence, and his ability to work, his kind of passion for the game is just so evident. The professionalism of his family is evident when you watch him. He just gets it, and there's so much more to that. The only thing I'm going to argue with that he said in this is he said he doesn't have a very high ceiling. Did you see the RAS score? Do you see his athletic ability? Do you see his natural hands catching the football? He has the natural ability. So don't tell me that his ceiling isn't there. It is absolutely there. All right, he could be one of the best slot receivers in the NFL in 5 years. I'm just telling you. And if he's not, and by one of the best, I'm telling you a top 5 slot guy. I think he could be. I do. And if that's not a high ceiling, I don't know what is. All right, thanks for watching. Happy 4th. Now go hang out with your families. Thanks for watching.